Normally, when we acquire a car into stock, before we launch it for sale, I'll probably, on average, these are on very collectible cars, I'll probably think of about half a dozen to 10 candidates. There was one anomaly, which was the Niki Lauda Ferrari 312T, and because of that car, the chassis 23, the car that was in the bonded warehouse for over 40 years and the most winningest of all the Ferrari Grand Prix cars, and because of that car was a Ferrari, and it was the most successful Ferrari, and it was the Niki Lauda history, and it was also a championship winning car, I wrote down something like 37 candidates, and I got to number 1, and it didn't get to number 2. It's not easy to value a car like that because it's worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And how do you value something that's unrepeatable? There's nothing similar to it in the world. That's a 6-time Grand Prix winner. It's a car that's so original and has been preserved throughout its life. The owner of the car knew a particular car broker who he'd dealt with over the years, and that car broker had offered the car around to a few people, but probably not done the greatest job of it. And the price that was indicated frightened a lot of people off because it was, a Grand Prix car had never been sold at that level before. I think the car was way undersold, even the price I sold it for in hindsight, which hindsight's a wonderful thing. And I wish, if I could turn the clock back, and also if the client wants his money back, I'm happy to say on here now, I'll give him his money back tomorrow. Because I think a car like that is so unrepeatable, it deserves a huge premium over anything else. We bought the James Hunt McLaren championship winning M23, which is sat in our bar actually. So, those 70s F1 cars, I'd sold quite a few of them over the last 10 years. So we were probably in a better position than anybody else, but the way you've got to value it is just take into account its historical significance, think what you paid for something inferior, this must be worth a decent premium, and then you've got to kind of take a deep breath, not be scared, write the check out and see if you're right or wrong. The car will go back to Ferrari and it's going to be mechanically recommissioned by their F1 department. Then the car will be used hopefully around Fiorano, which will be very fitting, and I'm sure we'll get some coverage of it. I think Formula One cars are really undervalued. It's a market that I enjoy operating in. It's a market that's been very good to me over the years. And Williams, I heard through the grapevine that they were looking to raise some money and they were thinking of selling some of their heritage collection. So I jumped straight in my car and I drove straight down to the factory, had a meeting with Jonathan Williams. I went there to buy one car, which was the FW17. And then when we was chatting, I found out that they would consider selling their FW15C, which is just an absolute game changer in history of F1 cars. And we ended up doing a deal and I bought both of them. I've used them on some of the Williams Heritage Days. A fantastic company, by the way, Williams. And I really hope they bounce back and start being super successful in F1. They've done a really good job, and their program, their Williams Heritage program, is just the greatest experience for any amateur driver who wants to wear the t-shirt and pretend he's an F1 driver for the day. You know, I was supported by all the real crew, the proper crew that's been doing it with Williams for 30 years. The head engineer was talking to me about what I was doing wrong and what I needed to improve on. And I was thinking to myself, Jesus, he's used to chatting with Ayrton Senna and Nigel Mansell and Damon Hill, and now he's chatting with me. Like, oh my God, he must be having the worst day ever. But it was really good, and they're cars that I'm looking to hold on to for a while and do more of those days. Here with us today, we have two fantastic 275s that have been recently restored, both short-nosed cars. One is the fantastic Verde Pinot, which is a very rare car because it's a 6-carburettor model from new, which was the most powerful variant. The car had been converted, like a lot of short-nosed cars, had been converted early on in its life to a long-nose configuration. And we sent the car back to Brandoli in Italy, who are the greatest coachwork people for Ferraris on the face of the planet. The old man Brandoli, he used to work at Scaglietti, who used to body these cars in period, and he left Scaglietti and set up on his own. And when Scaglietti closed, he bought the original bucks, or obtained the original bucks, I assume bought, but obtained the original bucks from Scaglietti. So today, if you want your car restored to perfection, to exactly as they was in period, then you should use Brandoli and nobody else if it needs any bodywork carrying out. That's a car that was restored by Brandoli, it was painted by Cremonini, and it was trimmed by Lupi. It's just, off the charts. And then we also have one of the very rare 7000 series 275 GTBCs, a Rosso Rubino car. This car was restored by Cremonini. It was trimmed by, again, all the best people in Italy. The engine work was done by Bonini, and that car's got some really unique features. It's got the headlight cowls painted in silver. It's got people call them the 250 GTO exhaust. They're the snap exhaust tailpipes. And it's got a NART badge on the side of the car, and all of those features was as the car was delivered new. So it really is an absolute unicorn, very unique spec, special spec car. And I predict, and we will see if I'm right or not, but I think in the next 3 years we'll see more 275s restored, and people will actually copy off of this car with the different colour headlight cowls, and also I think the snap exhaust pipes, because it sounds fantastic and it really does look spectacular. McLaren F1. XKSS. .250 Testarossa. Lauda. Oh, no, don't ask me that. I'm going to go Miura. We already have a lot of great things in the pipeline in 2021. We have bought some fantastic cars, a couple of very special things that we will be announcing and launching soon, which we look forward to sharing with you all. And we hope come the end of 2021, we can look back on a fantastic year. I feel bad actually. I feel like I should have said GTO.